So you're shopping for homes. Today, we're going to talk about one of the single factors that could affect you the most. Hello everybody, my name is Barry Horvath and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am DeLynn Gaston. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, the number one single most important factor that could affect your home buying, do you know what it is, Barry?
Yes, it's the azalea bushes out front.
No.
If they're in full bloom, it's going to be a smooth transaction. If they're not blooming, you could be in for a little bit of a challenge.
Curb appeal, curb appeal, curb appeal, right?
Yeah, people pull up to
I
the
love
house.
azalea bushes.
People
but
pull
yeah,
up
no,
to the
that's not
house
it.
and they look at it and they go, look at those azalea bushes.
I do like azaleas. No, however, that is an incorrect answer.
Seeing how this is like, we're almost in August. We're
Yes,
in late
I
July.
know. I know.
Azaleas are not blooming right now.
I don't know when azaleas bloom, but they sure are pretty.
They bloom like twice a year.
I know. See, that's the only problem is that they don't bloom for very long.
Fall. Yeah, and it's a great week.
And gardenia, same thing. But
don't
anyway.
wait for the azalea bushes to bloom before you buy a house. There you go. How's that?
Perfect.
All right, so,
there we go.
So
totally off topic now.
Yeah, totally. So what can affect you most? The appraisal?
No.
The income of your job?
No.
The condition of the property? The inspections? We get that a lot.
All of those things, very important.
How about your realtor you're using? That can affect you.
Very important. All of those things, very, very important.
Because if you have a really good agent, it's all going to go perfect, right?
No. Perfect-er.
More better is what we prefer.
More better.
More better.
All of those things, very, very important, as all of you know. However, the number one...
What if I quit my job?
There's a problem.
What if I have a gap in employment?
He started to say the challenges. not all of this stuff is a challenge, but...
What if the roof leaks?
Yeah, all of those things. Can we get on to what it is, though?
What if the insurance quote comes in high? Come on.
See how many
What if I open up a new rooms to go account?
You know...
Now we got a problem.
So this reminds me, I'm going to do another shout out here to my friend Eric Jenkins out there. This reminds me of something that he said when he talks to his clients, and this is so true, and you've really just kind of like nailed it there by saying all these different things. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people involved. Any one of them could have an issue or a problem.
Right. Oh.
It's getting through as smooth as possible.
Oh.
And that's very true. Very true. You know, there's a number of different things that can go wrong. Like all of those things that Barry just mentioned, all of those things could go wrong. But the number one thing that we're talking about today, being we're like, you know, well off topic here, was credit. Credit. I have people who will ask me sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily, and I'm not just talking about people who have a low credit score, you know, had a bankruptcy, had a foreclosure, had a short sale, whatever it is. I'm not just talking about those kind of credit challenges or whatever. I have people who have credit scores in the 700s who also want to know, how do I make my credit higher? What affects my credit? What does affect it? What doesn't affect it? Everybody is always seeking how I can improve my credit score.
You know what?
We're going to tell you.
Yeah, and it's really a mystery, isn't it?
But at this point, it's probably next week's show.
That's good. I love it. So, you know, in the lending world, we go by credit score. That affects so many things.
Right.
Their credit score affects their mortgage rate.
Right.
It can actually affect which loan program they go into.
Right.
It can also affect how much down payment is required. It can affect how much reserves may be required in a transaction, meaning monthly bills, because if they have a low credit score, they may need more reserves.
A little extra money.
If their credit score is lower, they might have to prove payment history on rental.
Right.
There's a lot of things that it can affect, not just your mortgage rate,
Right.
what programs you qualify for, and it's huge.
And it's not only, quite frankly, the credit score, it is also the other factors that go into the score. So it's not just like, oh, look, we've got a 650 credit score or something. We can go ahead and buy a house or do this or that. Not necessarily, because there might be some underlying factors. Score is not everything on it. Perhaps they had a bankruptcy 2 years ago. They just did a great job of reestablishing. That's wonderful. So now they've got a 650 credit score. Doesn't mean they can get a house. It's
right.
not just score. Or maybe they have a 700 credit score, and I've seen this happen just recently on somebody. They had like a 726 credit score. How they had a 726 credit score, I don't know, because they had like 3 30-day late payments in the last 12 months. That would be normally enough to tank somebody's credit score. Don't know why. There's a lot of different factors, but that's some of the stuff we're going to dive into.
It's so funny, like FHA itself, a loan program, which is the government guaranteed program, doesn't even have a credit score requirement in their guidelines.
Right.
Isn't that funny?
I know. And
it's always been that way. And people are like, well, what's your minimum credit score? Well, every lender has one.
Right. And I was just going to say, let's clarify that. So it doesn't, just because FHA doesn't, and I've had people call me and say, FHA doesn't have a credit score, so that doesn't make a difference. I can still get a loan.
Show me a bank that'll do it.
Right.
And
FHA only insures the loan.
That's right.
They do not make the loan.
Exactly.
So the lender makes the loan. So it's up to the lender what their minimum credit score is.
And even I've seen it where guidelines says, well, we'll go down to a 580. Well, the requirements when you go down to a 580 are like, well, you can't have any lates in the last 12 months.
You have to jump through flaming hoops 12 times.
So you wouldn't have a 580 if you were on time for the last 12 months, typically, unless it was just maybe medical. That would be the only exception to that.
Right.
So, there's so much that goes into it. So, you know what? What is a FICO score?
What is a FICO score? Let's start right there. What is a FICO score?
So what's so funny? I love this. Predicts the statistical chance of a consumer becoming 90 days late or more on a particular loan application.
Right.
I love that. So basically,
that's what your score is.
And basically they're
a prediction.
It is.
And it's the algorithms that each of the lenders use to determine what that score is. And it's the credit bureaus. Everybody knows that. It goes in Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And the score is generated by analyzing information contained in the consumer's credit report at that point in time. Keep in mind, it's a snapshot in time, and it could change by the next day. It could change by later in the day.
Absolutely. So don't run your credit at 2 different places at the same day. So, and you know what? When we come back, we're going to talk about what makes up a FICO score. Okay, we're back talking about that single most thing that affects your home buying.
In your credit score. So I do want to say that that every single lender, let's back up a little bit. When a little bit, yeah. When you get your credit score on Credit Karma or something like that, that is a consumer, and again, it's a snapshot in time. It's an idea of what your credit score is. It is not carved in stone, and it is not the same credit score that a mortgage lender is going to get when we run your credit. It is a consumer pull. There are different algorithms that determine what that score is.
They use that with Facebook now, algorithm.
It is. It's all the algorithms that are in the computer systems built in behind the scenes, so to speak, that determine what that score is. Obviously, a mortgage lender like myself, mortgage lenders, because we're lending out $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, we're going to be a little bit stricter on our algorithms than maybe Exxon, giving you a gas card for $500 or something. They're giving you $500, we're giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're going to be a little stricter on our scoring mechanisms than consumer credit cards are, or car loans or something like that.
All right, so what makes up a FICO score? What do you think is the number one thing that can affect your FICO score?
I know. What do you think?
What do you think?
Actually, I think people will be surprised. Everybody knows right away it's delinquencies. Everybody already knows that one.
Yep.
Yes,
35% of your score
is made
of past delinquencies.
Right. So be on time, be on time, be on time.
And,
that's, bottom line.
And if you are late, the longer as time goes by, the less it will affect your FICO score. So if you had a late 3 years ago versus 3 minutes ago, your score is going to be impacted less. So as time goes by with on-time payment history, and I know that seems very logical, but it's not.
One thing that I like explaining to my clients and such is, and people are always surprised by this, a 30-day late payment on your JCPenney's card last month is going to hurt your score more than a bankruptcy from 4 years ago.
Go figure.
Because again, the computer systems,
the algorithms,
Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, the computer is thinking, oh my gosh, they're late right now. They're in financial trouble, distress right now.
Right.
So it's going to lower your score because they're saying they're having a financial difficulties right now, as opposed to something that was a number of years ago.
It could be something as simple as you forgot to hit send on your payment.
Right.
You never schedule it.
And that's the other thing, when a collection hits you or something, even if it's a medical collection, no matter what it is, whether it's $20 or whether it's $2,000.
Wait, $1 million.
Doesn't make a difference if it hits you now. It is.
Have you guys noticed she's really good at ignoring me completely?
If it hits you now,
she just keeps on
it's going to affect you tremendously. All right, so everybody knows the delinquency part. I know, but you didn't go like this.
I know. Sorry.
$1 million.
All right, so number 2 on our affecting FICO score is revolving debt ratio.
And that's 30% of your score.
So what is that?
35% of your score is delinquencies. 30%
is revolving debt ratio.
What that means is your balances, proportion, on the credit reports it says proportion of balances to credit limits is too high. That's the little code that we get that comes back to us.
Can I put that in layman's terms?
Please.
All right, so you have a $1,000 credit limit on a credit card, and you owe $999 on it.
Yep.
That debt ratio
That's a problem.
That's high. That's hurting your score.
Doesn't like that.
Pay it down to $750. Now you're at 75% of the ratio. Your score gets better.
Right.
Pay it down to $500.
Now you're at 50% of your credit limit. Your score is going to keep going up.
Here's another idea for you. You could get your credit line increased as well. Don't increase the debt, increase the availability, and then the debt ratio is actually lower.
Interestingly enough, what we don't want you to do at this point is pay it off. A lot of people say, well, I'm just going to pay it off then. If I have the $1,000 or the $999 in Barry's example, I'm just going to pay it off. That's actually not the best thing to do. The credit bureaus the system does want you using credit. It wants you to use that credit. So, go buy groceries, at Sam's Club. I can't get out of Sam's with less than $200. So go spend $200
How do you get out that cheap?
And then pay it off, and then pay another $200 the following week, and then pay it off or something. I don't know.
All right. So the next thing on our list is.
I also want to say before we jump off of that one.
More.
Wait, there's more. Here's the biggest.
Do they got to order before midnight tomorrow? Wait, there's more.
And they get knives. In your example, where your balance is $999 and they have a $1,000 credit limit. When you're getting ready for your billing cycle, your credit card company is going to add your interest on it. So now it looks like you're over. Or let's say you accidentally went over. So your balance, your credit limit is $1,000 and your balance is $1,001.
That's going to hurt.
That hurts almost as much as a delinquency last month.
So your debt ratio
hurts huge.
Affects your FICO score by 30%.
Yes.
Okay.
Big. Those two things. If you have a late payment or if you're maxed out on your cards.
Average age of file. So what does that mean, DeLynn? So
How long have you been in the credit bureau?
exactly. So in other words, how long has an account been open too?
So don't close your accounts.
Yeah,
That's
so if
the
you
other
got an
big
account
mistake people
from
make.
20 years ago that you never use,
Keep it open.
by closing it, you're actually affecting your score.
You're hurting your score by
Yes.
closing that
Isn't
account.
that funny how that is?
Yes, even if you don't use it, even if the store is no longer in business, keep that card open.
It affects your FICO by 15%. So sometimes age is a good thing. It's like a
Yes.
fine wine, and it gets better with
and
time.
what not to do, what people were doing a few years back is you would get these credit card offers, pay off all your other credit cards, consolidate them all into ours. Well, the problem with that was they give you this nice, $20,000 credit limit, so you pay off like these 5 or 10 cards that you have over here. Now the system looks like, and you close these out. As soon as you close them out, they're no longer factored into your scores, and all of a sudden, you've got this $20,000 credit limit that you maxed out day one.
Wow.
What do you think that does to your score?
Ouch. Ouch.
That's the problem.
Okay. All right, let's move on. The next thing that affects it, mix of credit. So
In other words, don't have all credit cards.
right, all credit cards. So when we say mix of credit, we're talking about installment loans.
Right. Car loans or
Auto
personal loans.
personal loans, credit cards,
Right.
student loans. Those are all mix of credit. They'd like to see different things and not just all credit card
Right.
debt.
And not just all loans. People will go get a personal loan for
Right.
$2,000, pay it off. Personal loan for $2,000,
Right.
pay it off. That's not good either. They want to see some credit cards in there as well, a mix of credit.
And then the big thing, everybody says inquiries. Don't pull my credit. Don't pull my credit. You know how much it affects you? 10%.
Not much.
Nope.
Not much.
Not much at all.
The 30% and the 35%, those are the two that you really need to worry about. So if you're maxed out on your credit cards, don't say don't pull my credit because it's going to hurt my credit score. No, maxed out on your credit score, on your credit lines is what's going to hurt
I'm going to
it.
tell you how many days you have to do that where it won't affect your credit right after this.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
All right, so everybody keeps saying, don't pull my credit, don't pull my credit, you're going to hurt my score, you're going to hurt my score. How many times have you heard that, DeLynn?
More times than I care to count.
All right, so let me give you the facts about that.
Yep.
If your credit is pulled for the same purpose, meaning mortgage lending, auto lending, within 45 days, it doesn't affect your credit. Did you know
Right.
that?
I did.
I know. Well, so.
People used to go to a car dealership to get a car, and this is where the consumers fought the credit bureaus and won. They used to go to a car dealership, and the car dealership would fan it out to like 10 different banks, and each bank would pull credit, and every time they did, boom, 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 the scores went down. And the consumer industry fought that and said that's just not fair. This is somebody who's being smart and trying to get themselves a good interest rate or whatever, and it's affecting them negatively. It's hurting them more. So that's when they changed that law a number of years ago. That now, if it looks like it's that, and it's all for one type of industry, you're going for a car loan or something.
So,
it's not supposed to. Supposed to is
Right.
the key word here. Affect your credit score.
But so.
It's only supposed to count
It's
as one
within
pull.
45 days, it counts as one. So it's treated as one inquiry. That's so
Right.
interesting, though.
That's what they say. Honestly, I don't know how much I believe that.
Sometimes, you know what I've seen too, though, people go online and apply, and they pull their credit, and then they sell that information, and then like for weeks and weeks and weeks, they're getting hits. That's
Yeah.
another show.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think the
So
national...
just be careful with that.
Yeah, just be careful. So what do you think is the national credit FICO score right now in this country? Take a guess. It's more than a 2, and it's less than 1,000.
701.
Pretty close. You're off by 6 points. 695. That's the
695.
national FICO score average. So,
Actually, I did that. I do think that used to be a little higher.
well,
I'm pretty sure it used to be like over 720. I think it's come down some.
well,
Probably because of all of the crap that's happened in the last number of years.
is that a word we can use on our show?
I think so. I think we're safe.
And you know what, too? And I love this, too. An agent will call, and they'll say, what's their rate? Their score's 700. Okay, is it 720?
I know.
Is it 740?
Right.
Is it 760?
Right. It makes a difference.
Yep. And that's
It does make a difference.
And people don't think it makes a difference. It does.
Yes.
And how much are they putting down?
I know.
Where's the
so
property
much
located?
There's no such thing as what's a rate anymore.
Is it a
we can just
primary
rattle something off.
residence? Is it a VA loan?
Right.
Is it is it an FHA loan? I mean,
There's
I
about
don't
10 questions that have to be
Yeah, you
answered
just
before we
don't.
can come close to guessing at what
Yeah,
the
you
interest
can't
rate
just
might
say
be.
a rate. What's your rate? Mine's a 2. What's yours?
I know.
I got 2% loans. Call me.
That's it.
That's so funny.
The other thing that we did want to touch on is, interestingly enough, what's not on your credit report. And I'm always surprised, even some people who are, professionals in the industry, real estate, title, attorneys, I'm surprised that they don't know what's not on your
No.
credit report. A lot of people seem to think income is on their credit report.
And it's not. You know
No.
what? You know what's so funny? Here's the other
It's
thing. People think that I'm getting a car loan. My score was a 720. My credit card company pulled my score and it was a 715.
Right.
And my mortgage lender pulled it and it was a 738. How come they're all different? Mm-hmm. And it's
The
3 different
different
reporting.
Algorithms.
Yep.
That what
Isn't
we
that
were
funny?
talking about earlier. It's the
Yep.
different algorithms that each one of the lending types are using. A mortgage company, a car loan company, a credit card company,
All different.
consumer,
All
all
different.
different because
Yep.
we care about different things. But let's talk real quick about
All
the
right,
stuff
so what's
that's
not affecting,
on.
what's not on your FICO score, what's not affecting? Of course, your race, color, religion, national origin, sex, and marital
has
status.
nothing to do with your credit score.
So
Totally
you're-
not on there.
So you can't be discriminated.
Nope.
Your age.
Is not on there. Your date of birth is on there, but your age has nothing to do with your
with
credit
your
score.
Yeah.
Income, like I said, income.
Salary, occupation, your title,
Occupation.
your employer.
So what you do for
How
a
long you've
living, it
been
doesn't make a
employed,
difference.
How
Yeah.
long you've been employed,
Right.
your date of employment means
None of
nothing.
that is on
Yeah.
there.
Where you live, who cares? Well,
That's not on there either.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about that, one little sidebar here, some different parts of the country use the certain bureaus more. For example, out west, maybe TransUnion is the one that most of their creditors
interesting.
will report to. Up in the Northeast, maybe it's Experian. Down south, it might be Equifax or something. So each one of the credit parts of the country might use one. We all still use all 3, but just more weight on one more than the other.
Pretty interesting. And you know what else doesn't affect you? Is the interest rate you're paying on another account. People are unaware of that.
Right.
So that's so if you're paying 22 on a MasterCard, nobody knows that.
Nobody knows that.
No, only that creditor knows that.
And the other thing is child support or alimony or anything like that, it's
Yep.
not on there either, unless it's delinquent. The other thing that's not on there is electric bill, cable bill, cell phone bill, your water bill, things like that. Your car insurance, not on your, none of
No.
that gets reported. Your
Not
rent
reported.
does not, most cases, does not get reported on your credit
And-
bureau unless you go delinquent. If you're delinquent on it and it goes to collections or something like
Then
that,
it's done.
guess what? It's going to
Yep.
show up.
And it doesn't show up if you're in consumer credit counseling or anything. You know
Right.
what? We need to do a whole show just on credit every.
I know. What I was going to say
because
is
there's so much you can learn about it. I learn more about it every day, and I know you do too.
it changes
Sometimes
every
it
single day.
surprises,
We've been
so-
doing We've been doing lending for a number of years, and it still surprises us some of the changes that come up and everything. So
It's cray.
we've kind of like really rushed through this, and just to kind of give you a good overview on some of the changes and some of the things that, again, a lot of people just don't know about. We definitely, if you want more information about it, we have material. I have a whole little booklet that I can send out to you. Feel free, just reach out to me, shoot me an email, give me a call or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get
numbers
from,
are here.
if you want to get from a 720 to 740, we can probably help you.
Absolutely.
If you want to get from a 580 to a 640, we can probably help you. Or if you have no score at all,
Right.
we can show you how to get reported. So I think that's great. So let's talk about upcoming events. So
Upcoming events. One of my favorite events, everybody knows, one of my favorite events, Bowling for Boobs, is coming up on September 25th. This, of course, is for the West Pasco Business Association.
and it supports breast
And
cancer.
it supports breast cancer awareness. The month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we
It's
do
for the
this the
kickoff of it.
last week of September to
Yep.
kick off for
And
breast cancer awareness.
there are lanes available right now as of the taping of the
So
show.
basically what
And
this-
lanes are sold from the center out.
Right.
So
So what this means, those of you, many of you already know, but those of you who don't, so it's a big fundraiser that we do with our networking group. We take over Lane Glow in Newport Richey, the bowling alley there, and put a team together. We do themes, we do prizes, all kinds of fun stuff for, I don't know, just to have a whole bunch of
it's just
fun.
good. And listen, here's the best part of this whole show. Guys, this is the one time a year that it is socially acceptable for you to wear a bra in public.
And they
Need I say
do,
more?
and it's fun.
Absolutely, it's a lot of fun. It's a
So
really,
go
it's a really
to,
good time.
go
It's a
to-
great cause.
Go to our website to get more
WPBA.
information.
.biz
Or
.rocks.
WPBA.rocks.
Yeah.
Either one of those, you can find out more information. You can register your team. We
Get
will
your
say
team now.
there are only 44 lanes at this bowling alley, and they go quick.
And we have
So,
sponsorship availability.
Right.
And thank you, Deborah Diaz, for
Yay, stepping up and being our presenting sponsor this year.
And-
Thank you.
And Florida Wellness and Rehab is now the photo booth sponsor, so thanks for doing
Nice.
that. So
Nice, nice.
Anyway, get our show out there, share it, like it, tell your friends about it, and forward us if you got it in email. I don't know how you found us, but aren't you glad you did?
Thank you. Thank you for watching. We are Today and Every Day.
Moving forward.
We'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.